Welcome to another edition of the We-On-Loc Nation show. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna start putting links on the bottom below the Cash App, share whatever. Start sharing links to my Instagram, and I don't go on Facebook very much, and I contemplating having a TikTok channel, but then again, I said nah. So I'll put a link in the description pretty soon to my Instagram, so my Instagram followers can just essentially follow me. Do whenever I go live, they can just go on there. So we're gonna do a little something different today because everybody's getting their pound of flesh on Umar Ifatunde, and they have a right to do that. Although I would say, keep that same energy. I want everybody, excuse me, I want everybody to get their pound of flesh. Everyone, including Angry Man, which I'll be getting on that nigga soon. Everybody just keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. As a matter of fact, it would behoove me, it would insult me if you would have done this every day for the rest of your lives, because that's all you do. This is what black people do. Black Americans, quote unquote. People don't even know to explain what a black American is. It's just they're too numb to it. So I want all you black Americans, all you lying, hating, scheming, scamming Negroes out there, do whatever it is you do. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with it, because some of you can't even tell the truth. Some of you just don't even know what the situation is. Everybody has their interpretation what broke means. Just because he says he's broke doesn't mean he's broke. All right. He'll be coming over here. He'll be coming over here to Vegas very soon. But once those doors open, there are only two things stopping those doors to FDMG. It'll be either him or you all. Which one's going to pull the trigger? D. Darrell, I saw you live earlier. Shouts out to my bro. I don't blame him. I don't blame D. Darrell. I don't blame Dizzy Spears for feeling the way he feels. We talked about it throughout exhaustion. I don't I understand the way how he feels. But I'm gonna tell the rest of y'all, once you're off the boat, you're off the boat. I'm gonna be in this bitch until it sinks. Once you off the boat, you off the boat. People have this notion to follow somebody. People have this notion to follow their favorite hero until they don't. And then Kwame Brown, as short as your NBA career was shortened, a first rounder, wash. Your first round, trash. I keep my mouth shut if I were you. Continue dealing with the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. Doesn't I could give a fuck less if you have money or not. Money doesn't mean anything to me. What it is your character. And your character sucks. So I suggest you keep shh. The rest of yous, shh. No, my bad. Other than Kwame opening up his mouth and whatever. What up, Asant? I want the rest of America, Black America, who's at the bottom of the total pole, to keep on talking. Just keep talking. Do lives on Umar every single day. But when the next nut come up and does the exact same thing like Lennon does, don't do live on him. Don't do live on him. Do a live on Umar. I want everybody to concentrate their energy on Umar. Keep talking. But if FDMG opens, I want each and every single one of you who has done a live stream talking down to Umar, because y'all all say the same thing. Y'all say the same thing. He's broke. Oh, I gotta get him. I gotta get him. He ain't take care of his offspring. Let's look into your lives, shall we? Can we look at? Can we come into your house? Can we come into your living room? Can we? You can come into my living room. I welcome everybody in my living room. I welcome everybody in my living room. I'll show you what I got. I'm married with two kids. I can show you my living room. Not this one, not this virtual reality bullshit, but I can show you my actual living room. So we about to move out of here pretty soon. I got my shit together. But the fact of the matter is, you badgering this man, and most of you haven't even donated $1. For those of you who are actually donated, cool, fine. I understand your gripes. I understand your gripes. Rest of America, the rest of Black America, shameful. But we ain't here for that. We're not here for that at all. We are here simply because there's this pet peeve that I have about cops. Oh boy. And I was supposed to have a special guest on here. Apparently I'll send them a link. My door is always open. This gentleman is always welcome here. Mr. Dre is always welcome here. I have a pet peeve about cops. Something about cops makes me sick. Something about law enforcement makes me sick. It's either your quotas, or it's something. And in your unlawfully ways to go according to the law. Now, I'm studying law as it pertains to my job. I'm studying it, right? But I would not dare, even in the corners of the law, I would not dare put my hands on another individual, because the job is to react to an action, as somebody would say, right? The job is to react to an action. But you're not the preventilators. You are actually the shit starters. So we have another one. Obviously, this will never go away. The type of shit that happened in I think it was Atlanta or somewhere. I'll play the clip in a minute. I was just too busy dealing with Umar shit. What happened with this particular kid? I looked at it frontwards and backwards. I slowed the freeze frame down to see how if he got slapped or if he got hit. I don't care if he got slapped or hit. According to Mr. Nathan Daly and the lead attorney, shouts out to the lead attorney, shouts out to Nathan Daly. Fuck you, Officer Tantrum. What I heard and what I saw was that in the state of Florida, that's what it was. In the state of Florida, if it's foggy and it's raining, you're supposed to have your hazard lights on or whatever. You're supposed to have your headlights on. I thought when you got into a car, your car automatically detected if you had headlight, if it's raining or not. So if it's gloomy outside, you're supposed to have your head. It automatically cuts on your headlights. It automatically does that. Now I could be wrong because everybody doesn't have that car. Not everybody has that car. Not everybody has, they still got that oldie but goodie, which you have to flick the light switch. But your lights automatically come on when it's gloomy outside, right? When it's starting to rain. Either or, this cop pulled this young man over, obviously with axe to grind. And again, whenever time a cop pulls me over, my teeth cringe. I'd rather have a black cop pull me over than a white cop. Why? Because I know with the black cop, in my opinion, it doesn't happen with everybody, but it happens with me. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe it's just luck for me. But every time I get pulled over by a cop, I go home. It's like license registration. I already have my license and registration and proof of insurance out. It's no problem. Why are you with a white cop? Certain white cops I have no issue with. I just know when people just pull me over for the dumbest reasons, my teeth cringe. They pull me over for the dumbest reasons. Now, granted, I haven't gotten pulled over in a year and some change. In a year and some change, I have not gotten pulled over. All right. But before I play this, I have two things that you need, two things you need to pay attention to about this whole compliance thing. Roll all four windows down. That's number one. If you have tent, and most of the people in Las Vegas, Nevada have tent. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the sun. But if you have tent, if you don't have tent, just pull down your window. Pull down one window. If you have tent, have all four windows down. Number two, have your license out. Have your license, registration, proof of insurance. Make sure you don't have any crazy sudden movements. Number three, let them come to the window. Don't say anything. Just go like this, both hands out. Simple as that. And let them and have them talk. You know the reason why I stopped. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, you were speeding. I didn't know that. I was like, don't act smart. Just let the cop do its job. Maybe he'll be generous and just let you go with a warning. Maybe he'll just let you go, or maybe he'll just let you go with a ticket. Either way, the purpose of this, you can fight this all in court. Either way, I mean, if you're doing something stupid, then you should get a ticket. But if you haven't done anything wrong, or you think this thing was just too lean, too heavy, or he was just being just petty, you can fight this all in court. I'm gonna be playing multiple clips about this situation to get everybody's opinion. This is a reactionary moment because I want everyone to be safe. Now, the question of the day is this lawful? Excuse me. Is this lawful or unlawful? Is this lawful or unlawful? Let me play Mr. Officer Nathan Daly. I know Nathan Daly, you're busy. You're a busy person. So I know you're here in spirit, so I'll just play a clip. Once again, everybody go to the real Nathan Daly. The real Nathan Daly on YouTube. He does an awesome job. Former cop, wonderful person. Let's get it.
Case, we have Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff TK Waters. You guys, I can't stand this guy. His arrogance precedes him. I'm gonna tell you why. I have issues with him. This isn't the first time I've reacted to some content out of his way.
Most of those cops in Florida are all overzealous, but Chief is going to protect his guys. Sheriff is going to protect his guys. No question about it.
In reference to his statements involving the officer who punched William McNeil in the face during the traffic stop, and how he tries to justify. He should have been a damn attorney, because it sounds good, but it looks horrible. Getting up at the 3-minute mark.
Stop on February. Silence, driving on a suspended driver's license, possess less than 20 grams of marijuana.
But what the sheriff is failing to realize, that this isn't about the mistakes of the citizen. The citizen is going to go to jail, right? We already know that. Okay, he had a suspended license. He had marijuana on in his possession. He was going to jail anyways. What is the issue surrounding this case? Was the unlawful use of force, excessive force that was used against McNeil. McNeil is in the wrong.
Okay, just for the sake of purposes, weed is illegal in 2 states. Why it's illegal. While legal everywhere else, it's illegal in Florida. I just looked it up, and it's illegal in Texas. Shame.
But just because McNeil is wrong and he wasn't to use excessive force. So that's really the moral of this. entire force officer, and that's what this is all about. So let's get back into it.
Immediately upon becoming aware of this footage, JSO began a and in
Admitted was that his deputy never stated that he probably never stated that he struck him again when he got him out the car, you guys. He struck him while he's in the car, and it looked like he gave him an active threat to anybody. And so therefore, that level of looking straight ahead. Okay. And here's the other issue. Once the glass was broken, and I said this in the initial video, you have a pause. Okay. Last moment, what does that say to me? It says that the officer lost his cool. I think the officer is acting out of this superiority complex. For whatever reason, he feels offended that this individual is not complying. How dare you not comply with what I told you to do? And that frustration punched in the face. That's all. You guys, that's justified. We can justify that all day. But that's not what we see here.
The relevant body-worn camera footage was reviewed by multiple levels of supervision. However, as you'll see in short order, the body-worn of our responsibility all requires that a person comply with the police officer's commands during a traffic stop. This is extremely important. There are not options. If you disagree, take care of it someplace stop. And there are times in which citizens.
No one like to. No one enjoys being the subject of a victim getting punched in the face twice, and you're grabbing my head, which should be illegal. I don't know what the hell is going on in Florida, but boy, oh boy.
Dispute circumstances of their stops, but the law is clear. A person must comply with an officer's commands, even if that person disagrees with that officer's reason for the stop. Soon after McNeil was outside his car, officers found a large, unsheathed, serrated knife on the driver's side floorboard. Now I'll play relevant.
Okay, did he use it? When the officer said, "Show me your hands," everybody and their mama clearly saw him using opening up the palm of his hands and showing the palm of his hands, both sets, right and left side. He said, "Show me your hands." He showed him his hands. Absolutely grabbed him by the neck and forced him out. Grabbed him by the neck and forced him out.
Portions of the body-worn camera of the three officers, Officer Bowers, the stopping and arresting officer, Officer Miller, the second responding officer.
So the sheriff brings up the knife that was on the floorboard. Okay, you guys listen. Encountering people on traffic stops is extremely dangerous. I told you before how I got injured, okay, and ended up having to retire.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a threat from a traffic stop. Okay, I was dragged down the interstate, handling park surfing. Okay, so my situation is I understand. So I'm not saying that the officers should not use things. I'm not saying the officers were arguing about whether or not the force was appropriate. Okay. McNeil is wrong, you guys. And I know a lot of people want to make this about race and everything. Listen, if he would have handed his ID, he would have cooperated and got out the car. We don't know what would have happened. Nothing probably would have happened. Okay. So again, the patience of an officer, every officer, different circumstances every single time. Everybody is not as patient. Okay. And so I may not agree with how the officer carried out his duties, right? May not agree with it. But the question is, did the officer do it? You know, and so I think when we lose sight of those questions and we start worrying about what the situation made us feel like, it defeats the purpose, right? So we're going to skip ahead because we've already seen the video. So this is from Miller's point of view, and Miller was very patient. Miller asked him the same thing. He said, listen, I'll give you the information you need after you get out the car and we can work through it. He still feels, you guys, you can't do that. You know, like, I'm just being honest, you can't do that. All right. So, and when you play back this video, you guys, you listen to it, you hear officers breathe, and they sound like they're about to literally pass out and die. All right. A lot of these officers are out. They're they weren't ready. They're out of breath. They're done. You know,
I can't talk. I need to get and shake my damn self. my job requires that alone is me, taking down somebody is not as easy as people think it is. Just because you learn something doesn't mean you're like, I'm ready for it. No. When the time comes, when it stares you right in the face, you're gonna know how real it is. So yeah, I believe that you have to be in shape.
We have a big issue with our law enforcement in this country that needs to be overhauled, right? That is a fact. You know, there's no way. And but now the question comes to, did he reach? This is why officers are breaking the window, because they're like, I can't leave you in that car for too long. And this is why officers are asking to get out the car. Okay, for the potential to be harmed by things that are inside the vehicle. And it's a safety issue.
Resisting arrest without violence from the cell phone video.
Yeah.
I can understand the officer punching the window out, but what I don't understand is, and I know you said that this was not ruled criminal, sucker punching the guy in the jaw.
First of all, let me stop you. Not a sucker punch. I'm not excusing that administratively. I'm going to say that to you one more time. I'm not excusing that administratively. There are things that we definitely need to look at, but the context of this video should tell you everything you need to know.
It's this idea that you just don't want to admit that this is wrong, right? It's as clear as the eye can see. You saw the video just like we all saw it, Sheriff.
And you wonder why. And you wonder why cops get got. I don't condone violence, but I can look at things clearly and say enough is enough. Right? Enough is enough. Either you're going to act accordingly to the law or you're not. I didn't look the pages that I read. I didn't look nowhere near no classification, no, nothing. I didn't look at anything in it saying punch a person in the face. I didn't see it. I did not see it. But you justify, you're not even acknowledging it. You just sweeping it under the rug, so to speak. But that's what manly cops do.
The officer's wrong. Okay, he's wrong. And instead of, you could have just easily said, listen, by looking at the video, but I know that we need to really kind of conduct a more thorough investigation so I can get all the facts for myself before we render a decision. But I don't like the way that looks either. I know that, and there are times officers have to use force. He may have felt justice. So I'm releasing all the evidence that we have for the public to let you guys know that we're transparent. Okay. But I'm going to get to the bottom of it because I didn't like that. And so I want to talk and to the officer and the investigators directly myself to see what the issue was behind that. And if it's not to my satisfaction, if it's not to our policy, then yeah, the officer can look at something criminal. He could possibly lose his job, or it might be counseling, suspension. But we need to look at the totality.
They ain't gonna get no. Why does everybody go with counseling? These cops are not counseled. And there's something. What does counseling do to a skinhead? What does counseling do to an ex-Klan member? What does counseling do? Because just to be perfectly honest with you, most of these motherfuckers are ex-Klan members. To be perfectly honest with you, if we want to keep it real, both of them, most of these white cops are ex-Klan members. If not, they're white, what they call them, white ringers, whatever. Their jobs are so complex, and it's so hard to be a police officer, and it's so hard to do bullshit. Because at the end of the day, you can get away with whatever the fuck you get away with. Trust and you believe. Everybody remember the Rodney King incident? Case in point.
Of everything before we make a decision. But yeah, I agree with you. It looks awful, but I'm gonna really. That's it. You cover all bases. You don't look biased. Okay, you're not out here playing, ring around the rosy. Okay, you're being honest with what you saw. And
Nathan, if my brother, if you were here, I would ask you, do you think these officers were doing things in good faith? Do you think they were being very lawful at this moment? I'll ask you, my brother. I would ask you, be honest with me. You've been on the field. Have you ever looked at your partner and said that your partner was being lawful? Be honest with yourself. Come on, in 2025, we got to stop lying. These cops weren't being lawful at all.
what you see here with the sheriff is he's trying to be smooth and he's trying to finesse.
Nah, he's trying to keep his job under Donald Trump. Under the Trump era, come on. Under the Trump era, he's really trying to sustain his job. Now, if we would do what the Egyptians did,
But we're not idiots, right? We're not idiots. We see clear as day that this is wrong, and there's no justification to punch a citizen in the face when they are not actively a threat to an officer. That's a very bad precedent to set. All right, so he got to miss me with that one.
I take it. It looks like it's a sucker. He's looking straight.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out.
Yep.
You see a couple of punches. Now, for rest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think I saw a lot of violence against somebody that wasn't.
Don't look into just on videos. So what we're doing, what I'm saying is that it is what do that because it provides a lot of information to the public.
And you brought up
It's important. Let me finish. It's important for the people to know that you're not allowed to resist a police officer when he's doing his lawful duties.
How is he resisting? He has his hands up. He asked for a supervisor. You have that right to ask for a supervisor. But in the meanwhile, he's just being lawful, or he's going by the court of the law just because he didn't want to get out the car. He asked for a supervisor. I would do the exact same thing. It's about your life at the end of the day. You were probably going to die that night, whether you were being compliant or not.
Dealt with in several different times. You don't resist when you're doing your lawful duties. You don't deserve to get violated, but you deserve to get what's necessary to get you under control and get you and take you into custody.
Hold on, what? What is he talking about? Is this your king? Is this your spokesperson, you guys? This is horrible, Sheriff. If you get what you deserve, and when you got it, you got it good. Whatever happened to you, God bless. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? You get what you got what you deserved? What? You know, what you're saying is you're giving this pass that officers are allowed to do anything because you weren't listening. An officer can knock you over the head with the gun. He can kick you down the stairs. Hey, because you weren't listening. You guys, it doesn't work like that. It's a standard. And unfortunately, each department decides they want to enforce the standards differently, right? Every sheriff department feels like they're their own king of their own castle and that the laws are not necessarily subjected to them, okay? And what we have here is a sheriff who knows he's wrong. He knows this deputy is wrong. And he's saying, well, the citizen got what he got and it got what he deserved. And what happened, happened. And what do you want me to say about it, right? That you're not supposed to resist arrest. You're not supposed to resist a lawful command. He's absolutely correct. But that does not justify officers in using unreasonable, excessive, and flat out unlawful force, period. It doesn't matter, right? There's still standards that we have to uphold ourselves to. And the sheriff is wrong. He's flat out wrong, you know? And in him trying to explain it, he looks like an idiot, you guys. He looks like a complete imbecile. Listen, you guys, I had
That's too funny. He's an idiot. Go check out Nathan Daly. Check out my big brother Nathan Daly. He does a fabulous job telling the truth. And sometimes he'll slip one in. He'll slip one in like really? Like you want to go to the Republican side, huh? Now, before we go there, no. I think we might as well just go ahead. Straight trade. I'll deal with that some other particular time, but because I want to get to Officer Fat Ass right now. I want to get to Officer Fat Ass, Mr. Snow Demon, Snow Bunny, right? I want to get to him real quick. So, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, we'll definitely go to Officer Fathead's live stream in just a second. Meanwhile, like, share, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Or we can do, I mean, no. We'll go to this shit in a minute. Stay focused. Stay focused. We must stay focused, my brothers and sisters. We must stay focused, my brothers and sisters. We must stay focused, my brothers and sisters. Let's see here. It's like people that don't know what they're talking about shouldn't even have live streams like this. Shouldn't even have live streams. But they do. Just because they're used to be officers of the law, and they work with white folks and also master boats. Yes, I use push the goods. Go ahead and talk about that nigga. Oh yes, that nigga right there, he need to get whooped. Lead attorney, he need to get whooped. He a goddamn traitor. He a traitor to society. He's like, oh, I'm 6'2", 285 pounds, but I push people who are lighter than me. Yeah, is that your bread and butter, sir? You push people who are lighter than you that were 5'2". Remember, you pushed that dude in the bike. He was 5'2". Ah! Yeah, you could be. Yeah, please. Let me not get started.
He is correct. And go watch his video. Watch the guy who was, I think is. Know what you're talking about. I want to let it go, but I can't let it go. People are making videos about me. And I have to say, there's this fake lawyer. And I say a fake lawyer because he probably is a legitimate licensed person.
Sorry, my lead attorney.
To practice law. But some lawyers, just because you have the title lawyer, don't mean you're a good lawyer, don't mean you're a reasonable lawyer, and don't mean you know what you're talking about.
He's done some good practicing and he's won some cases. He's been doing this for over 20 plus years. So I would say, yeah, he's a real good attorney.
Same thing with police officers. Just because you're a cop, and just because you was a cop, don't always automatically mean you know what you're talking about. You have to point things out fair and impartial, and therefore,
oh, here comes this white woman.
People will respect and support what you're saying. And this attorney that made a video about me is wrong. In the comment section, I exposed that he's wrong. And then I have another attorney that, in my opinion, is practicing law like he's supposed to. He is correct. And go watch his video. Watch the guy who lied, who was, I think is deceived, and then watch the guy who told the truth. Make up your mind. But
yeah, white people always seem to allegedly tell the truth, but an attorney who is an attorney who already has the practice versus a person, a long line veteran who is white. We always like to listen to white folks. We like to listen to white folks. We never listen to any African Americans who know how to do the work, do the exact same work as the white guy, but it's more lawful to listen to the white guy. I get it. You got your white pride. You got your European pride, Officer Tantrum. I get it. I get it. You have your pride. Keep that along with that white sheet. Go ahead.
Let's talk about this video that has gone out. And now McNeil Jr., who's hired the most corrupt attorney, in my opinion, who's an ambulance chaser in the history of the country. All he do is chase civil rights claims just to get people paid out. I wonder will he ever disclose how much money he make on these civil rights claims? And he only do it with black people. And not one person that he support or promotes was following the law. 99% of all the people that Benjamin Crump has supported, the officer has always been acquitted. Almost every case that the officer has been acquitted. All he's doing is getting money. He's not getting justice because he knows that the person who he's representing was a complete fraud and did everything he wasn't supposed to do. But he want to get the civil rights claim to make money. Okay.
How many of these? Out of 3 million subscribers, how many of them are white? Didn't think I was going to ask that, did you? How many out of your 3 million subscribers, out of a percentage, how many of them are white? The plot thinkings. And I'm for Benjamin Crump also. I'm for Benjamin Crump. So watch him out.
Let's watch this press conference together. And who in their right mind think that the press conference or the statements in the press conference from McNeil Jr. and his dad, or even Benjamin Crump, make any sense whatsoever? Comment in the comment section. These people are living in another world. Roll the clip.
That day, I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared.
Wait, hold on. Wait. What do you mean you just wanted to know why you were pulled over? He told you why you were pulled over. He told you. You just didn't want to accept it.
Guys like this, I wonder why they led into the force. I just wonder. But then again, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know who's going to be the Williams O'Neills of the world. We just, us black, real black folks, just don't know. We don't know. But I do know that this guy has put on the cap. He's put on the cap, ladies and gentlemen. So from here on in, Officer Tatum has put on the cap. What do I mean by cap? He's put on that white sheet. Instead of just saying white sheet, he's putting on the cap. He's putting on the white sheet, and he is violating you. He will spread lies, rumors, and deceitfulness just because he married a white woman. And that European white devil is clearly whooping his ass. Politically, emotionally, whatever the case may be. Because in this situation with William McNeely Jr., we all know that in this particular scene, when he opens the door and the cop asks the dumbest questions like, why do you have the door open? I think you would be glad if you're a cop that you are, if you have vision, if you have peripheral vision or 60, or you see 60 feet in front of you, you will see that both of his hands have nothing on them, in them, excuse me. Clear as day, have nothing in them. Second, you asked him, why does he have his door open? And he told you, I can't roll my window down. So that's why I opened up the door. And he asked us, why did you pull over? And he actually did tell you. He actually did tell the young man why he got pulled over, but he got pulled over by a stupid ass reason. But either way, he got smart. The cop got smart with him. He ended up closing his door. And he said, but before he closed his door, he asked for a supervisor. Before he closed his door, he asked for a supervisor. I would not close my door. That's the one thing that William McNeely made a mistake on. Do not close your door. Once you have your door open, leave that be. They can't do anything to you. If you ask for a supervisor, they can't do anything to you. But also have your hands up in the air, visible so they can see that you're being compliant at that time. There's nothing, there's no, there might be a knife in the car, but you didn't pick up the knife. You didn't pick up the knife and you did not ask, do you have anything in the car that is harmful to me? He could have said, yes. Is there anything in the car that's harmful, that could be harmful to me or my partner? Yes. I have a knife underneath my seat. Okay, well and good. Anything else? Nope. Okay, well and good. When you broke the window, you said, put your hands down or put your hands up. He had his hands up clearly. You grabbed him by his neck. That should be illegal. Unless he's doing something wrong, unless he's about to fire a gun. See, you don't do things according to the law. You're doing things accordingly to your own ways. Maybe it's because I don't know, maybe it's because you're burnt out, or maybe you do need counseling, or you're just a racist ass prick.
All right, let's keep watching.
To see that video made me go back to the moment when I was 22. It hurted. It made me upset. Mm-hmm. But I seen what my son did that I had to do. And he sat right. And he did right. To see that.
People may now, seeing that, people may think, oh, it's just another dad trying, it's just another couple parents trying to get money for his son. I'm like, nigga, shut up. Now, how many times do we have to lose our children? How many times? How many times do we have to lose our young ones? I know if that were me, what happened a couple of months ago, I probably would have did. I probably would have ran the officer clear over, would have just blew up the spot, right? I probably would have done that if the officer would have shot at my son. But I understand how people feel. Some people live in fear. Others say enough is enough, and they're willing to do any and everything. It's like, hell, life ain't worth it anymore. Because clearly you put white society clearly put somebody in office who is unworthy. And yet he is putting money into a system that if you are not compliant, you might die that day. You might get killed that day. Is he here? I thought he was here. You might get killed that day. And people say, comply. Comply to what? For what? If I just comply, we might as well not even have rights. I don't have a right to ask any questions. I don't have a right to attorney. I don't have a right to anything. If I can't ask for a supervisor, if I feel like I'm being violated, if I don't get a motherfucking supervisor, what good is the law then? It's fucking stupid. And I understand this father's pain. I understand his pain. I understand a lot. I'm a father myself of two. I have a daughter and a son. And one day when my son grows up, he's probably going to be with me most of the time. God willing, he's probably going to be with me. and I'm going to make sure that he is safe. But I am not naive to the point where once he's out of my care and he's out of my vision, and he's out of my house, that my antennas ain't gonna go up. I'll probably be calling my son and my daughter each and every single day. But I'm gonna have to learn that once the bird leaves the nest, once the youngins leave the nest, hopefully, I hope and pray that everything is a-okay. Because anytime they need something, they can call on me. They can call on me and they can call on their mother. But I understand how this father feels. I understand how every single father who has dealt with this single situation has dealt with this situation every single day. I know how they feel. Obviously, Officer Tatum don't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. Oops, wrong one. Damn it.
It's a hurting feeling to be a father that love God first, and to see all my kids not being able to wake up in the morning and get a phone call and your child is gone.
Wow.
That's a hurting feeling, but I thank God.
Yes.
Because God got it.
I don't like when people put God in it. But like how do you say I believe in God and my son did what's right? No, your son didn't. God would never accept the fact that your son was being.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? And come on, y'all. This is crazy. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. This is crazy work. This is nasty work. You better be glad that wasn't my son. I'll tell you go straight to hell. And I would have no problems meeting you where you were at. But it's not my son. I don't even know why I'm tripping. William McNeil is still alive and well, luckily, and of course he gonna get paid. But that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. They were there specifically because it was unnecessary force. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. According to the law, it is unnecessary, unlawful to strike someone in the face. And there are plenty of clips, plenty of reruns, plenty of watchable shit that when you see the reaction to these particular people, why they're getting punched in the face, it's everywhere. You see it everywhere. Everywhere you see it. You see it on Instagram. You see it on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. You see TikTok. You see it everywhere. People getting punched in the face by cops. And you're calling this lawful?
Belligerent with authority. The man told your son why he put him over. If your son disagreed, he could just be like, all right, whatever happens, I'm going to take it to court. That's the legal process. God would be expecting your son to abide by the law. And then the funny thing is, he doing all this fake crying and my son, he did the right thing. Your son is driving on a suspended driver's license with weed on him, with a big old knife on the floorboard. In a simple point of the cop saying, this is why I pulled you over. No, go get your supervisor. No, they ain't why you put they ain't even locked. Shut the door and slammed it. If my son ever did something like that, you ain't never gonna catch me on TV defending him. I don't care if the cop punch him in the face or not. You ain't never gonna catch me defending that. Now, if I think the cop is wrong,
he was driving on a suspended license. He had weed in the car. So, if he was driving on a suspended license, just write him up a ticket. You can't write him up a ticket? Quite interesting. Instead of giving him a ticket, he gets a big old wad, and he gets a bigger right hook. Excuse me. He gets a left hook, uppercut right in the jaw. Now he's gonna get money. Fuck the weed. Fuck the knife in the car. Fuck the suspended license. You would have the right to detain him. You would have right to arrest him because he's on a suspended license. But because you struck the first blow, see you in hell. I mean, see you in court, officer. See you in court. Thank you for the money.
I'll address that, but I also address the fact that my son was wrong. Driving on suspended driver's license is wrong. Disobeying a lawful command is wrong. Your son got arrested, was found guilty. What are we even talking about at this point? It's a money grab. Let's see what Benjamin Crump got to say.
I want you to try to put yourself in our shoes. Try to put yourself in William's shoes just for a second. The police stop you and tell you, you say, why are you stopping me? And they say, well, you don't have your headlights on and it's raining. And you look and you're like, there's no rain.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Yes, it might have been a little cloudy, but there are many instances where it's cloudy and it doesn't rain. If you see there was no mist, there's moisture in the air, but if there ain't no mist, and you don't see no driplets, no drops, or there was some drops that day, but it only lasted like 10, 15 minutes. It ain't nothing but dry heat. And when heat comes, it just dries that shit all up. Most of it anyway, and all you have are droplets. It was raining. Yeah, 15 minutes ago. You're supposed to have your headlights on for what? Your lights automatically come on when it's raining. When it's like that. Especially at night. Your lights automatically come on.
Why are you stopping me? And all he does, while it says a Rosa Parks 21st century moment, he, as a black person, says, I'm tired of it. I'm going to try to demand my constitutional rights. That's the only thing that William McNeil did. And that's the only thing you would want your children to do. To say, as a citizen, don't I have the right to know why you're violating my Fourth Amendment rights against search and seizure? Nothing more. Search arts, America. If it's your time, wouldn't you be proud that and de-escalated it? And let that govern you when you call on the sheriff to hold these police officers accountable, because that's what we have to get here. We have to have accountability.
This is why black people.
Wait a minute. What black people? Sir, come to the fucking congregation. Sir. What black people? We don't know you. Who the fuck are you? Anybody recognize this guy? Anybody recognize Officer Tantrum? Anybody recognize this white boy? Anybody recognize this white boy? I don't recognize him. I don't recognize anybody in the chat. Anybody recognize him? We don't recognize you in the black community. We don't know who you are. May we help you, sir? This is the reason why But Black America ain't going nowhere. Nigga, we don't know you.
Was just standing up. A Rosa Parks moment. A Rosa Parks moment. A Rosa Parks moment. And he did everything he's supposed to do. He just wanted a legal search and seizure. Stop. He wasn't going to search the.
According to law, yes, there is. I mean, many different cities and states, everything is different. But yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. According to the law, yes, it is. Because they illegally, unless they ask you while you're compliant, while you're in the car, while you're in compliant. However, I said all of that wrong. When you are in the car and they ask you, can we search your car or can we search your trunk? Your job is to tell them yes or no. And most times people are automatically scared and say yes. Because if you say no, they say, well, we have a right to detain you. Always happens to me. But when you have your First Amendment right cards and you read them to you, you have to know, but you have to know law by law. They don't have a right to search your car. They don't have a right. I wish I had my wallet on me. They don't have a right to search your car. You know why? Because when you have your First Amendment, when you have your constitutional right cards, and you read the specific lines to them, they don't have a right to search your car. Most of these motherfuckers don't even know the law and don't even study it. You must be right there, front and center, to say, by law, this you don't have a right to search and seizure under, I think it's like, for example, Roe v. versus Wade or some shit. I forgot what it was. I never had to pull my shit out in a while. But you have your constitutional right cards. And you know what? Let me stop talking. Let me get my wallet.
Man car. He wasn't going to arrest McNeil Jr. He wasn't going to do any of that. He just stopped him on a simple traffic stop and said, I'm pulling you over because, say whether he said in inclement weather, which according to the law, the officer has a right to pull you over in those conditions. Inclement weather doesn't mean that it has to be currently raining at the a precise moment that the cop turns his lights on to pull you over. It's that you're driving in rainy conditions. That means that the road is rain. There's been rain on the road. It's overcast. There clearly had been rain. So therefore, the inclement weather argument is very clear. And then I think that, you know, in good faith, the officer made a traffic stop. If you didn't agree with it, then in the court of law, you could have contested it. But we all know, if you have paid attention to anything that's going on, that he was found responsible for this. They did not throw out the case, because if the judge deemed that it was unlawful for them to make a traffic stop, they would have thrown the case out. But they didn't. It was upheld. He was found guilty. The justice that was imposed on him, he took it like a man at first, and then now he's releasing the video. It just makes me mad because Black people in this situation do not feel like they have to be held accountable to do anything. The cop punched you in the face. You have created a scenario where a cop can use a reasonable amount of force to execute an arrest. And if
he didn't do anything, what are you talking about here? You saying he had a lawful right? So I couldn't find my other card, but I did find, if I could show it, let me see. I did find, let me get rid of this virtual reality bullshit. Let's see. is no shame. Now, as you can see, you qualified immunity notice to all officers and public officers. You show them this card, but you also have to know your rights. So all police officers and public officers are required to take an oath as detainee trustees. I can't even read that right. To people of the state and the state of the United States. McNeely, I almost had it right. McNeely versus the United States, 482 U.S. 350 to uphold this state's constitution, the United States, the U.S. Constitution, and the laws thereof. This is your card. This is your card, and you read it as such. And also, there's also the back of the card. Police officers and public officers losing their qualified immunities when they noticeably violate a clearly established right or statutes protecting those rights. Or when they are willingly ignorant and clearly incompliant. Mallory versus Bridge, 475 U.S. 335. It's in the back of the card. All you have to do is look up your laws, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is just have this in your person and have other people have this on their person, and they'll be just fine. Have this on your person, and you will be just fine. Oh, you are a sight for sore eyes. Look, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. But as I said, the boy that got punched in the face, did he do anything wrong at that point? Like I said, when the officers told him to show your hands while he punched out the windows, and clearly all that stuff got into his face, and a left hook came to his face, and then when he was grabbed by the neck, which is illegal, and he was uppercutted. So he was given a straight left, and he was given an uppercut. And we're going to make light of this. This is the reason why this bum right here with his white woman in the back gets no respect from me. I'm We-On-Loc Nation. I don't give a fuck who I see. He gets no rights, no respects from me. Yes, they did steal on him. They did more than steal on him. And when Benjamin Crump would go ahead and collect that money. These white people, these white folks, yes, I call Officer Tatum white. Yes. Yeah. These white folks keep coming and running right along afterwards, and they make a live video. He was in the wrong. This was wrong with black people today. Shut your ass up.
If it's deemed later that the force was unnecessary, then you can talk about it. But none of what you did was necessary. None of what he did was necessary. He did not have to disobey the traffic law.
Oh, by the way, yep, that's his wife and his kid. Yep. Yep, married to a white woman.
He did not have to argue with the cop on the side of the road when he never have read the statute in the first place. And the funny thing is, a lot of people are watching the video, and I said this from the beginning because I think I'm the only person that's genuine about this by a long shot. Bullshit. Is that I said there's a lot of the video footage that's missing from here. What do you know? Like the first 5 or 6 minutes, the guy intentionally edited out of his own video. He edited out of his own video. And you can see that because if you follow the body camera in his video, you can see normally when people start the video, you see them push the and they back off the screen and they start doing it. You're like, okay, that person just pushed the button in the video. But when you look at this, you see the cop say, I'm recording too. And then from the time you say, I'm recording too, to when he started talking to the officer in the passenger seat, he's screaming, he's yelling, he's throwing a fit. The cop is telling him, get out the car 10 times. And
he raised a fit. He had a fit. You see, I love it when these white motherfuckers, they always like to add in these little ounces like it was his fault and why did he do this instead of just being compliant with the devil. Okay. Ah, boy. Okay, we'll go by his theory. We will definitely go by his fucking theory. Let's go by the lead attorney, shall we?
Research to brother Officer Tatum. Now, I hate to do this to him. I hate to make this video, but Officer Tatum is a boot-licking moron, apparently.
Next, Tatum thinks that the officers used a proportionate amount of force for the situation because he's a boot-licking moron.
If you don't know what you're talking about, don't make a video about Brandon Tatum.
Usually I would tell white folks to mind their own fucking business, but in this case, this is white on white. So what difference does it make? But
put your anti-police rhetoric aside, do some research before you decide to make a video calling me a bootlicker and all kind of other stuff when you have no idea what you're talking about according to the law. You have no idea what you're talking about according to police interactions. You have no idea what you're talking about according to what you claimed that I said and the positions that you said I took and didn't take.
All right, guys, we are heating up. We are talking today about heavyweights going at it. We have the Officer Tatum. Y'all know him, a huge Goliath in the space. He has over 3 million subscribers, a big dog. But then you have another YouTuber, a man.
And like I said, 3 million subscribers. How many of those subscribers are white? Mystery.
Named Lackluster. He also has over 1 million subscribers. Lackluster has called Officer Tatum out over this whole JSO officer viral video. Lackluster calls Officer Tatum a moron. Calls
we get it. Okay, look at here. Couple things. They already played it already, so let me see if I can find this shit. Let's see. No, because I can find the original one. Let's go with this stuff. Let's just go with this.
What does during mean in this context? It means 2 events occurring simultaneously: the pulling over of the driver and the rain. We got that? We're on the same page? Now you know how to analyze this case legally. Now let's go to the facts of this case. Was it raining? Here we have the driver's car, and we can clearly see water droplets. Now, let me ask you, law student, thinking critically, if there are water droplets on a car, does it necessarily mean that it's raining? This is easy for you, even though it's your first day. Obviously, the answer is no. Water droplets can be on a car for numerous reasons. Water droplets could be on a car because it rained 15 minutes ago. Water can be on a car because the car got washed. Water can be on the car because the car rolled over a puddle and water splashed on the car. So just because there are water droplets on the car does not mean that it's raining. What I'm going to do is play this video, but I'm going to mute it so we can and focus on the water droplets. And what I want you to look at, young student, I want you to see if there are any new droplets that you see forming on the car as the video plays. Now, everybody take a close look. I'm going to play the video. Do you see any new water droplets? If you see new water droplets, then we can assume that that's rain. If we see no new water droplets, then what does that mean? All right, let's play the video. So here is the video. It is playing. Again, I've muted it because we don't need the sound to figure out whether it's raining or not. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at the glass. I'm looking at the molding. I'm looking at the door. I see no new water droplets. Do you guys see any new water droplets? I don't see one. We're just letting it play here. I'm going to say that it's not raining, guys. Could it have rained previously? 100%. I do believe that it was raining 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes ago. But if I'm honest with you, I saw no new water droplets forming on that car. So, young student of mine, this is the question for you. All right, you ready? During the time that the body cam video was taken, was it raining? That's your question. Now, I do need to point out that it is technically possible for the officer to have pulled the driver over and then 5, 10, 20 seconds when the officer gets up there, it stops raining. So that it was raining when the officer pulled the driver over, but it's not raining 20 seconds into the video. That is a possibility technically, but just going on the video as we see it, I believe it is not currently raining.
Now I want to pause this and I want to say first certain, and anybody want to join the live, they can. When I play this next clip, I want to ask a question. Was this lawful or unlawful? Raining, not raining. I mean, suspended license. Okay, sure. Weed in the car. Weed is illegal in Florida and in Texas. Now, if you would have came to Las Vegas, I'm just saying, if you would have came to Las Vegas, it's legal in Las Vegas. They have a funny way of showing it. But anyway, weed in the car, suspended driver's license, knife in the car. Who cares? You would have had him. You would have had this young man if you would have displayed unnecessary force. You punched him and then you punched him again. You grabbed him by his neck, forcing him to the ground. Now he's going to get paid for it. Now I'm going to go to this other clip because people were talking about this thing. People were talking about this at nauseum, right? People have their opinion. People have their opinion. He shouldn't apply. Other people, they say that, the officer was wrong, which I believe the guy was in the wrong, which most of them are. Most of them all are in the wrong. He's like, you're supposed to give these cops a chance. You're supposed to give these cops a chance. I ain't got to give a cop shit, even though I got two cop. One's a former cop. The other one's actively in the police force or working for the FBI or whatever. Fact of the matter is that if I could talk to them, I could talk to any police officer, right? Wrong. There are selected few people I have tolerance for. Nathan Daly happens to be one of them. Nathan Daly happens to be one of them because he's a former cop. He's a former police officer. Now, let me stop ranting and go to the next one. And I want people to start, everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own biases or whatever. What is your opinion about this?
Vehicle. Show me your hand. Here. Violent moments captured on camera during a traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. This February video going viral after driver William McNeil Jr., who filmed it inside of his car, posted it Sunday, drawing swift reaction since. It shows an interaction with police already.
Now, exit the vehicle. 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 Show me your hands. Here. Can you put that?
Violent moments captured on camera during a traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida. This February video going viral after driver William McNeil Jr., who filmed it inside of his car, posted it Sunday, drawing swift reaction since. It shows an interaction with already arrests, including the breaks McNeil's window and strikes him in the face.
Can you call your super? All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands. Here.
But the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says that the video doesn't tell the full story.
Social media reality. One video devoid of context can be very misleading.
Sheriff's officer warned body camera footage showing McNeil pulled over for driving without headlights in the rain. They say he wouldn't provide his license and registration.
What rain?
You can hear officers repeatedly warning McNeil that if he did not comply with getting.
And it's sad, all these police officers for one guy. And usually two in the car. So you got one in the car. So you got one car, but you got two police officers, right? That's 6 police officers whooping your ass. I know that because it happened to me. It happened. They didn't pull me out the car, but I know I've had cops swarm to my car. I'm like, what you? Well, I'm here on pause mode. And there's reason to believe there's a disturbance in the neighborhood.
Out of the vehicle, they would break his window and put him under arrest.
Open the door and exit, or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit, or we are going to break a window. What is your reason?
The sheriff says none of the involved officers violated criminal law, but an administrative review is ongoing.
Yes, there absolutely was force used by the arresting officers.
Grabbing his head, which is illegal.
And yes, that force is ugly. And just because force is ugly does not mean it's unlawful.
NBC News has not spoken to McNeil directly, but his lawyer says he's still recovering.
His teeth actually went through his lip when he was slammed to the ground. So he's still recovering and dealing with those injuries.
His attorney says they plan on filing a lawsuit. Marissa Parra, NBC News.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there, man. We seen it was normal. Did investigation and right now. So what do you guys?
Oh, when the police body cam footage came out, and this is me talking to black folks in general. You cannot win on the streets. You can't. There is no way to argue your case on the streets. They don't give a shit. You have to, and the thing is that he may have had every justifiable reason that, you know what I mean? He probably was pulled for nothing. You know what I mean? The other officer pulled up with his headlights off. It was light outside. According, I looked up the state laws in Jacksonville, where they say that that there's only 3 circumstances where your light be on: inclement weather, fog, and/or between dusk and dawn, I believe. So he had every way to actually fight case. And the thing is that a lot of people try to fight case on the street, and you just won't win that battle. You have to fight it in court. And now,
usually I would disagree, but this one, he's on point at this. He's on point with this. You're not going to fight officers. They once they're on patrol, a cop is on patrol. He's in alert mode until he gets off of work. He's on alert mode until he gets off of work. Now remember, a cop's job is to react to a situation. not to act to a situation. Because if you're acting, that means you have basically started something illegally. I have had a former officer in my family, no longer here. Officer, I forgot what his name was, Officer Dre, which I had previously. I wish he was here today to explain some things. It would be an awesome live, but no fear. Most of these people, they have their own lives, and they're busy. So I personally understand. Officer Nathan Daly, or former Officer Nathan Daly, he has his own life. He's cool. He's cool with me. I'm cool with him. But needless to say, like I said, your job as a police officer is to serve, like it's customer service. You're supposed to serve and protect. Your duty is to serve and protect the people, not to destroy. Those are beginning to become lies, in my opinion. I don't give a damn what nobody says. A cop will always be a fucking cop. Now let's continue.
I will say this though, nothing justifies that officer punching him in his face.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
Not a thing. There's nothing. And so he's definitely gonna win a lawsuit. I don't care what that sheriff says. You can't haul off and fire off on somebody just because. And even though he was not complying, he was not violent. He was not. He didn't show any violent tendencies. So when he smashed out the window, the thing that he did after the punch, he could have done at the time. He could have opened up the door, pulled his seatbelt off, and pulled him up out the car. Him punching him, that same person, to me. So there's no justification for that, and he's definitely going to win the lawsuit based on that. Can't just like officer can just steal off for you because they're upset with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll leave it there. I'll just leave that to fight your battles in court, y'all. You're never gonna win on the pavement.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, go ahead, Trey.
That is if you're, very few people get away with being about that life. None of you motherfuckers, none of y'all about that life. If you're willing to die, then your life ain't worth living. Your life is worth something. Fighting with a cop on the street, you're not going to do it. They have body cams. Body cams are linked to satellites. They see everything that you do. They see and witness everything that you do. And AI ain't too far around the corner. Hell, they're using AI now. But the real shit is around the corner. If you fight them, all they gotta do is use robots. That's all they gotta do is use robots. Fight them in the court of law. And when you do win, their bonds get taken away. They get fired on the spot, and their bonds get taken away.
All right, cool. So when the officer was on a podium, that's pretty much just the blue line. That's all that is. They're always going to protect each other no matter what. Just understand that that's just one of the biggest gangs on the planet. Just understand that they're, in some instances, they can be gang members. Now, I don't want to sit here and bash all cops because most cops that I interact with are straight. They don't behave like that. I don't get harassed. I don't get pulled over for no reasons anymore. There were some areas that were just bananas. North Jersey's a different animal. But It was completely uncalled for. First off, they lied. There was a defective stop to begin with because there was none of the reasons like Sweeney said for him to have his lights on. And they also lied and said he didn't have a seatbelt, but they had to yank him out of it. So I don't understand that part either. And then you got the cops pulling up and they don't have their lights on. So that to me is always weird. However, could the situation have been avoided? Absolutely. He was doing way too much as well. It doesn't excuse any violence. There's no situation where there is, oh, if you're not violent, they are never to initiate violence. Police officers under no circumstances are ever supposed to initiate violence. They can respond.
Oh, but Officer Tantrum said that he was being violent by yelling and screaming and calling a tantrum. You seen it with your own two eyes, ladies and gentlemen. You seen it with your two eyes. Now see it with your third eye. Was this lawful or unlawful?
One was violence, but they cannot initiate violence. That there's no scenario where they should initiate violence. If they are protecting someone else and they have to be violent, that's one thing. If they are protecting themselves and they have to be violent, that's another thing. His hands were up. He was no threat to no one. And that when they first broke through the windshield, that hit him in the face. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, it wasn't a sucker punch, it was a slap. The second one where the window was already broken, it doesn't matter. That's still valid, and it was absolutely unnecessary. And then he was uppercutted when they pulled him out of the vehicle, and on his way down, he was getting punched all over his midsection, his thighs, all of that. So they was just tearing him up, and it was more than one person beating him. And all of them were handling, telling him to do different things. How do you even respond to that? So, no way. But the one thing I want to say is there's certain ways to avoid that. Like, unfortunately, we had this kind of conversation before. I have to have those conversations. We have to do that on how to teach your children how to be pulled over and how to make it calm, about rolling all your windows down. Like that right there is going to agitate the cop and expect them to do something wrong. As horrible as those police officers' conduct was, do I think that most of us knew how to get out of that? Most of us who were trained know how to get out of that? Sure. If he would have had his windows down and he would have cooperated, he would have definitely beat him in court because it was a bogus ass ticket. If you're fishing for a lawsuit, he conducted himself perfectly. But if you don't want to endanger yourself, then you might want to have a different approach. All of that auditing the police officers, that shit don't really work for black people. So I got to chill out. Beat their ass in court, file a complaint, and go through the proper channels.
Trev, I think half those videos are probably fake.
You couldn't stop me before.
Hold on a second. I love my Transylvania. Where else can I go to? Oh, this is what I can go to, but I really don't want to because this. Oh my goodness gracious! Let's go to his lawyer. Let's see what the lawyer has to say. Let's go to his lawyer. My goodness. Al Sharpton, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
They say he was resisting. Resisting what? The punch to his face? How was he resisting? By putting his hands up? We all give our children the talk, and he mastered the talk. So now the ball is in law enforcement's court. What more would you have someone do other than ask and exercise their constitutional rights? This is atrocious. We need justice and accountability. We need that officer held accountable. And Florida has a police brutality problem. It's had a police brutality problem for a long time. So to the sheriff, if you're truly about law and order, you need to turn the law and order on that officer that brutalized Mr. McNeil. They say he was resisting. Resisting what? The punch to his face?
Good point. Good points. He wasn't resisting any arrest. He wasn't doing anything unlawful. He had his hands up. But in these cases, in these specific cases, they expect you, these people expect you to be dumb. These people expect you to be inferior. They're upset that they can't do the type of job that they expect. They expect you to comply. They expect you to be ruly. But when you don't follow by their rule, it's not about the law, it's about their rule. You end up becoming a victim. And that's something that Officer Tantrum does not understand and does not get, because he's a former officer himself. Why, I do not know. But in this situation, and in many situations, and in many cases, I'm asking y'all, be careful. Be compliant. I hate saying that, but you just have to be compliant. Be compliant, be careful. When they ask for something, just, well, they don't have to ask it, just give it to them, right? Just give them your license, give them your registration, your proof of insurance, so you can skedaddle out of there. Because once you're compliant, they feel in their rule, they have a right to do anything to you without cause. If you have a problem with them, and if you ask for a supervisor, that really gets underneath their crawl. So I advise everyone who is listening to the sound of my voice, who has been listening to me, be careful. Be careful. Have your windows down if you have tent, and just don't do anything dumb. And if they ask you, do you have anything? Usually they would ask you, when they get you out the car, do you have anything in the car, or before they get you out the car, do you have anything in the car that is harmful to me and my partner? And normally you would either say yes or no. They didn't ask them anything. They just dragged them out the car, which would piss me the fuck off, because you're grabbing them by the neck, which is illegal. But also, and I'm going to show you this one more time. And if you need to get any of these cards, go to realniggles.com. Go to realniggles.com. That is spelled real, REEL, Niggles, NAGAS, NAGAS, realniggles.com. And I'm gonna show, oh, never mind, it's right here. It's right here. Now, once you get this package or whatever, he gives you a packages of plenty of different things. One of them happens to have 2 cards. I broke one, so I have to get the other one back, and that's your constitutional card. This one is your qualified immunity notice. Qualified immunity notice. And on the back, if you read it, these are the laws that require the officer to abide by. One of them is Malley. If you look up Malley versus Bridge, 475, US 335. And another one is, if it's in here, Title 42. Title 42 of the private, or is it of the private capacity? Private capacity, U.S. Title 42, Section 9 or 1983. It's on the back of here. These are the laws you must study in order for them to get you off of their back, because most of these officers don't even know their own damn law, don't even know the law, period. And you will be surprised. You would definitely be surprised what an officer knows. Now, if he knows his shit, you must know his shit right with it. Just like when Nat Turner challenged his slave master, Bible for Bible, word for word, challenged him. When he came with a response, it was just like, oh, you gonna talk back to me? Yeah, motherfucker, because you're violating my rights. You're violating my right to. You're violating my right to passage. You're violating my right to live. Let me read this real quick. To all officers and public officers. All officers and public officers are required to take an oath. What's an oath? I solemnly swear, and they touch the Bible with their right hand. Well, is it like, raise your hand up, whichever one. Either one of them, they're raising their hands. I swear to take an oath as a true trustee. I'm just going to say trustee to the people of the state and the United States. McNeely versus the United States, 482 U.S. 350 to uphold this state's constitution, the United States Constitution, the United States Constitution, and the law therefore. Qualified immunity only protects officers and public officers while performing their duties in good faith. In good faith. Now, what you saw earlier was not in good faith. As a matter of fact, it wasn't faithful at all. So I'm asking y'all. I'm asking you, as we put this to a close, I'm asking y'all, be careful. Be careful. I know what I want to put, but there is one more before we bounce. There is one more video that I want to play before we bounce. There's one more. I did see it earlier. If we just go ahead and go to, let's see, we're gonna go to no, we can go back to the PIF, because until I see it, like, share, subscribe to the channel, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's see here. And
knowledge that I can and I've spoken with
him in his face. So that's one bad cop. Cool. Get rid of him. Let's advocate to get rid of him. You know, all of us. I think when we kind of like, a lot of times we come for white people in general, and it hurts us in the end, because this is a situation where everybody needs to be against what this cop did. And I think everybody would be, but a lot of people of other races are looking at us like just trying to get back at us for what we be saying on.
Fuck them. That's what I would say to Dode. Fuck them. And fuck you for even thinking a thought like that. What the fuck make you think that other races care what the fuck you think? See, this is the reason why I cringe on this fucking generation. Because they want to so long to get along with the world. But the world doesn't care about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. They don't care for you. Even a white man had to pull you aside after he died at the age of 77 years old. 77 years of age. Most of us ain't gonna live that long. God willing, I hope. But the point of the matter is, white folks don't care for you. Other of ethnicities, if you are not of African descent, they do not care for you. And I don't know why people of this ilk think that, look at what I say and what I think. I could care less. We have our own issues to deal with in America. Within the compliance, we all know that it's a live or die situation. And either way, this is why people fear every time we get pulled over by a cop, what happens? The back of our neck, the hair in the back of our neck stand up and our chakras go off. And you're calling your wife. It is crazy when you have to call your wife, your girlfriend, or whatever, and say, I don't think I'm gonna make it home tonight. This has happened. And you're afraid of what other races think of you. Better him than me.
Instagram and Twitter and all that type of stuff. Like, I think we need to be more objective also and look at everything individually.
All right, let's go to get some of these other folks. Go ahead, Dr. Ladio.
I disagree with some of the things I heard. First of all, y'all missed the point that guy, when he had his door open and a police officer told him to get out the car, he actually closed the door up. And then when the police officer went to...
First of all, if you're going to tell it, tell the whole thing. If you're going to tell it, tell the whole thing. When he opened up the door, the officer asked him, why did you open up the door? And he told him the reason why. He said, I can't roll my window down. That's the reason why he opened up his door.
To the door, he locked the door. He couldn't open the door. Go back to that.
Copy. We saw that, yep.
And just hold on. That part right there. And he couldn't open the door. Let me tell you something, black people. Mother of 4 black boys. Shut up and get your butt home. It doesn't matter what they stop you for. We know they're ignorant. We know I've been stopped before. But trust me, unjustly. Shut up and get home to your family and take it up in court. Because you do not stand a chance 90% of the time with these cops. You do not. And when he closed that door, if he would, a better defense for him would have just go ahead, get out the car, get out the freaking car. That would have saved him that punch. Now, do I agree with the punch? Not necessarily. After he bust the window.
What? Not necessarily. Yeah, people are often telling me, you got too much of a temper. You got too much of a bad temperament with these things. I wonder why. That's why I say black people ain't shit no more. I'm going by my African brothers and sisters who actually give a shit. You going based on something that's dead. logically, economically, it's done. It's a wash. It's a wash. And they're doing this to you simply for the simple fact, unless you work for the state, and they treat state people like shit too. But when they see that state license plate, they have no choice but to comply lawfully. And then they have to let them go. That's like people who have what's it called? Diplomatic immunity. You can't touch them. You can't touch them. You can't arrest them. You can't do anything. But that's on the other side of things. That's too much. That's too much of something we have to deal with later on in another live stream. But let's continue.
Or whatever. No, I don't agree with the punch itself. But we have got to stop trying to question everything. That's the problem with Black people. You get stopped by the police, and why you stop me? Don't worry about it. I have been stopped before going down Metropolitan at night, and I was knowingly speeding. And an officer, and I had my license hand out the window, it was late at night too. He said, "Ma'am, you know you're speeding?" I said, "Yes." I said, because I heard about some random shootings, and I was trying to get off Metropolitan. He did not give me a ticket. He said, "Ma'am, can you just please slow down?" He said, "I'm just saying, get home." And that was my quest of the little Black boys.
I'm gonna speed blitz past her, because the more I hear her talk, the worse comes out of my mind. So we're gonna speed blitz past her.
But
reach through the window and punch the dude, they're not getting away with that. That's the part where I was like, when I watched the video, I said that's gonna be the thing that's gonna get him a lawsuit.
I was gonna say I do want to get everybody else in there, like Bruiser, Bo, and M White up in there. Let me get y'all in there. When I played the video, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when he set that camera up, it was on. There's a room out there, or some talk about maybe he might have baited them. I'm not sure if he baited them or not, but there was a little smirk on his face. I don't know if y'all caught that little smirk when he hit him. It's just like, oh yeah, I got him now. If you look at the video, I'm gonna see if I can just.
What JR doesn't know, when he got hit, his tooth went from staying from here all the way over here, which means his tooth lapsed. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? See, these are the type of Negroes. This is the reason. But I had to listen to this because the reactions are crazy. You'll see.
Find that very moment, but that's what came to mind when I saw it. But go ahead, Darwin. You want to chime in?
Yeah, it does.
This Negro,
like a setup. I've seen it happen before. But this is just another case where, Black people are tired of unfair treatment by police, and they're learning their rights and testing how far they can go during traffic stops. Some even try to catch officers doing something wrong, hoping to sue. And they believe knowing the law gives them power, but that power doesn't always protect them in the moment. If we look at the racial tension and viral cases over decades of police abuse, people respond with attitude or legal talk. But if the officer ignores their rights, things can turn viral fast. The truth is, the law might be on your side, but that won't matter if you don't live long enough to prove it. So it's funny y'all talking about the outcomes of a lawsuit. And I'm just trying to think ahead of how much damage this can cause if it is a win for the gentleman that was assaulted. This could create an uncompliant exploit where people could see a pattern of, hey, look, if I can bait him up and live long enough, and get one of these trigger happy or punch happy officers to strike me, I can get generational wealth out of it.
Why not? I mean, why not? You were punching people in the face anyway. Cops punch women in the face, so why not get your money? Things are being done to black folks all the time by cops. But what Darwin does not see, I don't know if he's been seeing this daily, because this stuff happens week by week. It happens all the time, right? But what I believe what he sees is that if black folks create this formula, if they create this formula of just do what the law tells me to do, just because I know the law and I know I can sneak my way out of a situation, or I can sneak my way into court and get that bread, that's not specifically the case. Nobody, listen to me, nobody wants to go through a situation where they foresee themselves not going home, because that's all they want to do, especially one who gets off of work and all they want to do is go home. Maybe they went over 5 or went over 10, going home, going over the speed limit, whatever. Most cops will let you get away with going over 10. This is just giving an example. Most cops will let you go over 10. They would just, you just know how to slow down. But there are those who will be petty when you go over 1. But what Darwin, I don't think he understands, and everything has to be militant. Everything has to be militant. Everything has to be straight. It's straight and narrow. Not everything is on the straight and narrow, because if they're not going to be lawful, why should I? If they're not going to be cooperative, if you want me to be cooperative, you have to be cooperative too. Just so you know the law, so do I know the law. Because at the end of the day, you're doing your job. At the end of the day, I want to go home. Is it worth your quota? Is it worth the quota? I don't think it is.
Or, I'll risk, losing my life over it. So to me, specifically, personally, in my opinion, once I see non-compliance, after that, nothing really matters. I become numb to everything after that, because then I know what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? You got your camera set up. You're intentionally trying to challenge. You're learning the law. You're trying to get a reaction. You're trying to go to viral. You're trying to get a lawsuit. All these other things.
No, that's incorrect. The reason why they have their camera set up, and have their camera set up in many ways, is because police often get away with bullshit. That would be why. And your white ass don't even know the difference between setting somebody up, setting the camera up, and setting somebody up. I set my camera up because he has drugs in the car. I don't do drugs. I don't do them, and I don't sell them. That's the reason why they have their camera set up.
So if it does become a trend where, let's just pretend this guy's going to win. Everybody's saying he got crump. If it does become a trend and people start picking up a pattern and turn it into an exploit, I think what that's going to do is create another law. And the police are going to crack down, and they're going to say, okay, when people start not compliant, we'll be able to punch faces. And that might settle that. So then you're going to have to figure out another workaround. And I think it's just going to be it's just going to be a war. There's always been a war between disproportionate or underserved communities and unfair law enforcement. So this is just one case out of so many probably to come.
So, Bruiser, you don't think that there's a possibility of an outcome that they actually treat black people the same way that they treat everybody else? You don't think that's a possible outcome?
A possible outcome
After
that
after enough punishment, enough civil suits, enough um, firings, terminations, whatever, demotions, you don't think that there's a possible
nah,
outcome that we just get
the
treated like
treatment, the
human beings
treatment,
at some
the
point?
treatment, the treatment towards black people is not contingent upon how far you can go in punishment when the law enforcement overstep the boundaries.
That's not true.
The treatment on black people is contingent upon their own behavior as a people and how they're looked at and perceived in the society. We have the power to control how we are perceived in media and all these other things. How we treat each other, how we treat our own people, gives people outside of our community, outside of our races, indicators that perhaps we don't even care about our own. So why should I even care about you? You don't even care about your own flesh and blood. So I believe if we started building up our communities economically, family-wise, financially, all of these other things, and strengthen that, we could show the world that we absolutely care about our own people, and we can be strong enough to where when people try this stuff on us, they would think twice because we have a unity or we have some type of aligned mission with each other. So I don't care how many times you punish the cops, as long as we're punishing each other, people are not they're gonna look at us like we at the bottom.
I disagree with that.
Don't you think a lot of people are just trying to push a narrative? Like, all right, so just for instance, right, how they were trying to say, oh, we had a pocket life, which, Bruce said is not illegal, which is correct. It's not illegal, right? So the dude's a biology major. He volunteers playing drums with people. He has no criminal history. So it's a regular dude. I do think he was ill-advised. Just a basic profile of their parents. It's a shame that his stepfather actually had a situation like that and never told him what to do when you get pulled over. I think it's crazy to not have those conversations, particularly if you've had those experiences. That's wild. But I think if enough people, right, to talk to your point, if enough people, so I can't see it if every single police officer was held accountable for it, and you knew that you were going to be terminated, you knew that you would be publicly shamed, you knew that you were going to have a civil lawsuit. Departments would probably teach their police officers better. Like, there's just so much horrible training. They don't know how to deal with people. I don't even know if you know, but they used to have primarily black targets for the practice. Straight up minorities for target practice. They didn't even have any whites for target practice as far as the pictures that they shoot at. So it goes deep. But a lot of it is poor training and people just not understanding what's really going on here.
Yeah, I believe if it's done right, then you have a strong point. If it's done right, if black minorities or whatever are compliant and it's evident, we got cameras now, so I think that's the reason why a lot of these cops that probably want to do it are second guessing or having second thoughts about it. But as long as people are actually complying and doing what they're supposed to do and listening to the officers, and then the cops are crossing the boundaries, and if we have enough of those, and if we have numbers of those going in and out of court and lawsuits coming out,
lawsuits are going to come out regardless. Being compliant, uncompliant, you're going to get, cops are going to do what cops do, regardless if you're compliant or not. It's been done over time. Plus, I mean, we live in a society now where everything is AI, and they can also pretty soon they're going to be connecting to you're going to be able to connect to a live stream of some sort, possibly even the news rather, and everybody's going to see what you do. Everybody's going to see what you do. Everybody's going to see what the cops have done or are about to do. They just want to get home. And it doesn't, cops don't care. Cops really do not care. So I would, if you're going to do, if you're going to move the goalposts, and I'm talking about police officers, if they're going to move goalposts, if the sheriff, if the police department is going to move goalposts and say, look, if they don't want to be compliant, we don't have to be compliant. We don't have to be lawfully. It's in it's in the law, and I mean it's ridiculous. It's not going to go that way unless they go to Donald Trump for that, and he might sign up on it. But I doubt that the state will let that happen. But just in case it does, people are going to be smart about it and build an app to connect to a network that matters. Watch and see what I mean.
Yeah.
So
But
are
if,
you
but if
suggesting that?
But if it's after non-compliance and the person is being stopped being unlawful, then no, it's not going to change.
So are you saying? Oh well, y'all having a whole different conversation. My bad. I was going.
Can we acknowledge that when we're using this word comply and everybody keeps saying just comply, just comply, just comply. Each one of us went and either started a business or filled out a job application, right? And we went and got whatever job or opened whatever business. And we are all also over the age of 18. You are telling me that because somebody somewhere filled out a job application and went to a little flimsy ass academy that we just can't ever disagree or tell them no. They have the ultimate power, the end all be all. If they are dead ass wrong, and it's just okay. Like, and I get it before anybody says it. We don't live in a perfect world.
Like I said, this is just reaction. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. We're just doing reactionaries to Mr. William McNeely, and there's gonna be plenty of those and coming down the street. But people like these are not gonna care. It's nothing is going to change unless nothing is going to change unless. And I honestly wish you had more people to tell you this, but I can work with these. Number one, you need to start rebuilding communities. Number two, be entrepreneurs, your own entrepreneurs. Be your own entrepreneurship. Pass that money around 8 to 12 times. Read Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Powernomics. Read Dr. Claude Anderson's book. It's all in the formula. The formula has already, the map has already been designed for you. All you got to do is study it and analyze it and then do the work. But most people don't want to do the work. You're not going to be not everybody can be an entrepreneur. You a fucking lie. Now, you know what? Let me take that back. You're right. I would say 50% of y'all can be entrepreneurs. I mean, everybody fails the first time. But to pick it back up the second time, now that you have failed and you learn about your failures, you pick right up where you lost and you will be successful at what you do the first time around if you failed the first time. But we're just, I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just working for, if you're going to work for somebody, get paid for what you're worth. get paid for what you're worth. If they're not going to pay you what you're worth, then you might as well just go somewhere. But right now, it's tough. It is real tough because people are losing their jobs, not because they, weren't compliant or they were late or whatever the case. They came in on time. They did nothing wrong. It's just that this economy, because of the orange man in office, apparently Canada and the tariffs, and even people in Japan, they're fucking up this country big time. And people are going to suffer for it because of the tariffs, because of the tourism not coming to the United States, because of Canada not coming to the United States. But that's a different subject. Be careful.
Yes, we are trying to make it home. People got families. But can we actually talk about the real issue of the fact that, like, him closing the door and passively resisting upset that man to a point to feel like, how dare you not listen to me? Now I'm going to hit you. Are we understanding the level of power that these officers feel like they have to the point where, like, you piss me off because you didn't listen to me. You're not listening to me. Let me smack the hell out of you. Can we please just, like, acknowledge that? That's like an anger issue at this point.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think we're having those are like kind of two different parts in what you just said. So when it comes to somebody not being intelligent and not, really achieving anything, being able to tell you what to do, even if they're dead wrong, that's not realistic, because cops aren't asking you for blowjobs, right? They're telling you to get out the car, ground, hands behind your back. These are the things that they're asking you. So let's say they are dead wrong and they're like, hey, I'm going to detain you or I'm going to arrest you. It is what it is. You have to do what they say. And then because they're not the final decision maker. We understand that. The final decision maker, you will have your day in court. This person may have the ability to inconvenience you. Absolutely. I'm inconvenienced. My day is ruined. And I'm smarter than this person and they're being stupid. But you still have to I agree with the just comply. They're not going to ask you to, if they asking you like, yo, let me stick my finger in your butt. Yeah, that's you're violent. But just saying, put your hands behind your back. I'm about to put some cuffs on you. Like, that's as worse as it's going to get. So I agree that we have to comply, but at the same time, that officer's out of line, and we should get all the officers like that when we see it, and we're being objective about every single situation. And it's like, oh, we can obviously tell you were just upset. You wanted to take your anger out. I don't care. Your wife might have cheated on you this morning. Something might, she might have got, by a black guy or whatever. I don't care. What you did was out of line. We can see that it wasn't necessary for you to use that type of force. Be getting rid of you. You out of here. That's all. Be objective about every situation.
They have psychologists in those police departments. So all he would do is probably be suspended and get anger management and all that other stuff, because it probably was an anger issue. Now, I have sons. If one of my sons, let's say that was my son, goddammit, in that video, I'm gonna be pissed. You know how many people be pissed at? I'm gonna be pissed at my son. I'm not gonna be pissed at them. I want to know, why the hell did you do that and why you didn't comply? Because that's what your ass get. That's exactly what I was telling my son. And I'm not saying that just because it ain't happened to my son. And I'm not emotional because it's not my child, but I'm dead serious. You don't do or comply with that, then you're going to get whatever comes with it. It is what it is. So I'm going to teach my kids to make sure that they know the law in their state, because every state is different. Laisha, for example, you cannot have a pocket knife in the city of New York. It ain't happening. You can't even have mace, pepper spray, or nothing. So in the state that you live in, you better know for men, I'm talking about. Women, it's a little different. We should know the law too, but we know we get treated differently a little bit, right? But men, y'all should know the law in your state, everything inside and out, and stuff like this, relationships, whatever. Because I do want to just stop it there. He didn't comply, so everything after that, it is what it is. Like, seriously.
That's the problem.
Who cares about the after effect? Because he's only going to get anger management, possibly. He didn't
Well,
kill
let
him.
me try to
So-
see if I can make some sense out of the what Laisha tried to ask. I think she said, why are we acting like you can't decide to wake up and say, I don't want to comply? It's your right. You got the right to speed, you got the right to steal, whatever.
That's not what I'm
Well,
saying. What I'm saying is that what I just feel like is becoming an issue is that they're getting these jobs and they just feel like there is endless amounts of power.
Just like I said, we're just reacting to the video of a young man who basically was non-compliant and got punched in the face not once but twice by police officers. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I can't stand these people. I can't stand them because we live. I mean, there are a few that make sense, but like Sweeney, he makes it, what he said earlier ago. It makes perfect sense, right? Darwin is military. I don't care to know or think what he says. Whatever. Lady Di, I heard her before. Dr. Lady O. If my grandmother was here, let me not go there. These other two, Trev was on the money with it. JR, he thinks he's slick, but let me just say this. Most of y'all scared. And if you're scared, say you're scared. If you are scared, say you are scared, and learn the law. Learn the law of how it is created. And if they create another law with that, then you have to learn the law which they always constantly keep moving the goalposts. You got to learn that. And eventually they're going to get tired of you learning it and absorbing it. They're going to get tired of you doing that. And they're going to have no choice but to get you out of here. That's why I say getting applying, complying or not, you're on the phone with your wife and or your girlfriend and you're saying, I don't know if I'm gonna make it home tonight. And if you're lucky to make it home, you're lucky to make it home.
Like yeah, you're right. When they're saying, oh, let me put my finger in your butt. Yeah, that's diabolical. But we can't act like they like there aren't officers that go to those lengths as well. And I don't want to make it about that. But I'm saying that they truly believe that they have extreme amounts of power where they cannot be wrong. There is no discussion. There is no anything. And I'm saying that when somebody feels like that they have that level of power, that does pose a problem though, Darwin. That poses a very large power when a regular person like you and I just so happen to fill out a different job application, and now that gives them full autonomy over every single person in their area.
I think
That's
you're jumping
scary.
to the extremes when you say full autonomy, and then you're talking about they having power. This is a response to non-compliance. It's not like this is happening before that. I can grant you your argument if you're saying the police pulled this man over, shattered his window, and pulled him out of the car. There was other things that took place in between that. You have to look at this as the same as we had a case where we have many cases on this panel where people offend each other. There is respect.
Oh my God.
But when the other person responds, when both come, so the thing we didn't account for is, okay, what if I know that I'm not complying. What if the cop decide he doesn't want to comply with the law? Uh-oh. So what happens is we have this habit as a people is where the other person doesn't comply, we want him to match my level of non-compliance, but we don't compensate for the fact that they might go higher. And it's the same thing with respect. We have to, and that's why I said once people cross the line, I become numb to that. It's just irrelevant at that.
But do you find that reasonable?
You can't say that something.
It doesn't
is
matter if it's reasonable or not. Once you cross the line, you do not know. You can't predict. Once you cross the line, you cannot predict the outcomes.
So the problem is,
you can be hopeful. I don't believe in being hopeful of outcomes.
No.
If you want to have control, if you want to shout out about autonomy over your life and control over it and protect yourself, you have to stop crossing the line and then expecting to have hope or hoping or that things are going to turn out right. It just doesn't work that way. We done had so many cases and people done died. And these people probably are turning over their grave like, wow, y'all ain't learned that I done lost my life for this shit and y'all still out here doing this shit. Like,
how is it
doesn't
that
make any sense at all.
How is it that you can understand that? But then if we see, we say, oh man, well, if you don't comply or something happens in it or disrespect happens in this end, and then disrespect comes back, then it is what it is. And you become numb to it. But then we can sit here and be flabbergasted if somebody murders this person and then that person goes back and get it in blood. And then that family murders that person. Then that family comes back and murder that person. Then y'all want to say, oh man, stop the violence.
Because
that's a very good point. Y'all remember the cop that I forgot what the brother's name was. Y'all remember the cop that not the cop, but the person that murdered the sheriff, the retired sheriff, ran him over with the car. And later on, because of the fact that there was a different cop that shot this man's son, because they said allegedly he had a gun, which he did have a gun, but did he use it? No. And he got in his car the very next day when he found out his son was no longer on this earth. Something snapped out of him and he got in his car and ran the officer over. That's retaliation. I can be compliant, but if something happens to me, retaliation is a must. It's like you condone violence at this point, at this rate, with this sumbitch in office, this 80-year-old man in office doing all these unlawful things, signing executive orders that don't need to be signed, but yet you voted for him. You, the people, voted for the man you thought was going to bring you wealth. Put that in your craw, put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's on y'all. That ain't on me because I didn't vote. I didn't vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for neither one of these sumbitches. Neither one of them. Now look what's happening to your country now. Look what's happening to your country now. So when he signs an executive order to put money in these cops' hands to, I forgot what he was going to do with it, give them lawful treatment or get them out of a nasty situation or whatever he's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your 2025 law book. That bitch is this long and this thick of a book. Black labor, white wealth, powernomics. This is your formula. Powernomics. This is your formula. You need to read Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson to build your communities and start passing that money around. And then once you pass that money around, holy crap, we got teacher in the building. Teacher, how are you? Dang, it's been so long. It has been so long. How are you doing, madam? How you doing, madam dear? More to the story, build.
They
Good
have
point.
a badge.
Man, have you ever heard? You referring to me on that?
That's the difference. People think that it's not
Because I
okay to
made
get
the
it back in blood when you don't have a badge. But when you have a badge, they can have that mentality. It's okay.
Was that a question for me, Sweeney, or that was?
Yeah, what I'm asking is how do you reconcile with the fact of you can say, hey, look, in this moment, you can't expect when you disrespect or something happens, then you become numb to the outcomes. But then we can be on this same exact panel and then we start talking about street violence and street justice. And then now we're all of a sudden surprised that street justice happens and how violence is perpetuated.
I'm just not connecting the dots where you brought
Sweetie,
me
can I try
into
and help you? I think you
question of
understand.
Yeah, I mean,
Sweeney,
I would love. I seen Marcus perk up, so I want to hear what he has to say because I
Sweeney,
know
are
he
you
feel me on
saying,
this.
Sweeney, are you saying that basically with that last situation, because you're saying that, okay, if your perspective is you can't control how someone will respond once you cross a line, right? So let's you're just saying that in general. So
if you slap me in the face, you don't know if I'm going to stab you in the neck.
Got you. So if you happen to kill my son, even if it's in the line of your job, and I disagree with your action, you cannot control if somebody is going to come and do something to you because you chose to do what you're going to do.
So that means you should be numb to it. So say for instance, if they shot that kid on the street because he didn't comply with a lawful order, and his family came back and murdered that, you in his family, I become to it because.
Oh, you making my point.
What? No, I'm asking you. Is that your point?
You made my point once, and I stated this when I very started talking. Once I see these instances like this, I see them over and over too many times. Once these guys start challenging and saying, "I know the law, get your supervisor," and they don't want to put the seatbelt on, they don't want to put their hands on the dashboard, they don't want to comply. I don't even. It's irrelevant at that point.
No, so no, you're missing my question. I said, say he didn't comply with a lawful order, and the kid wound up getting shot. If that kid's family came back and got it back in blood, and they killed that police officer, you should have that same exact response by saying, "Hey, look, I'm numb to that cop." So is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, well.
I said from the point when it first started, everything after that becomes irrelevant. It's an agenda.
Darwin, all right, we got to get Bo. Hold on, y'all. We got to get Bo and White in there. Go ahead, Bo.
Can y'all hear me? Wonderful. I think that there's something that we are missing. Comply is the last word that anyone that's Black should be listening to or speaking of. Comply should never come out of anyone's mouth because, one, it doesn't matter if you comply. If they're going to do what they're going to do, they're going to do it, whether you comply or not. Officers who have their brain set on attacking someone, they're going to do it either way, whether you're nice to them or not.
Can you give us the source that backs that? Because that sounds like a dangerous claim.
That they are going to do either way. Here's the other thing. Compliance with whatever it is they're telling you to do.
And you know what's sad about this? It's so sad that it's making me want to move to a different country. Because you get, most likely you don't get things like this, and even if you do it, it's quite rare. You just got to know the laws. laws in certain countries, and you gotta pay like a fee. Teacher, say I wanted to move to Jamaica. Do you have to? I mean, of course, you have to pay some type of fee. I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it. But at this point in time, at this case, things like this make me want to move. But then again, I don't want to move out of the country that I was born in. But this makes me want to try something else. I'm 45 years old. I can do whatever the hell I want. But mainly, I'll have to come up with a passport. I'll have to transfer my money. I'm going to have to find a house out there in the sticks, out in Jamaica or in Africa somewhere. Wherever I feel like going, I have to go, but I have to pay some type of tax fee or whatever the case may be. I'll change my name and status real freaking quick. I'm now on summer break. That is excellent. That is excellent. And yes, I am still teaching. And you are still hearing my nonsense? Yeah, we're just going over American things right now. America will always be America. So, I mean, you laugh and keep from crying. But I am thankful and I am blessed every single day to hear the other side of my peoples. And no, this ain't FBA talking. This is Pan-African talking. So, with that being said, I am so glad to see my fellow Africans, my fellow brothers, my fellow sisters from the Caribbean, my fellow brothers and sisters from, oh, you're about to go to bed? Oh, it's good to see you. It's really good to see you. Really good to see you. You have a good night. All my African brothers and sisters, to all my Caribbean brothers and sisters, to all of my Jamaican brothers and sisters, you're always welcome here. You're always welcome. I am so glad to see teacher. It's warming to me, right? I feel like when I see teacher, when I see Trev, when I see all my brothers and sisters who help me start off, all my peoples who helped me start off in different countries and different continents, I welcome that. I welcome that heavy because I feel when they talk to me and I talk to them, I feel some type of relief. Don't worry about the combination. All that will work in over time. But and not to downgrade my brothers and sisters here in America, but things are just in 2025. I'm scared for 2026, and it's July. It's July 2025. This is going quick, and I just had a birthday. I had a birthday 2 weeks ago. No, actually 3 weeks ago. This is crazy. This is nuts. But let me get back to the program. Yes, very good to see you, teacher. You have a great night. A great morning. I think it's morning over there, but either way, you have a great one.
Is, to me, dumb. Because if you want to challenge them, you absolutely have that right. If you want to ask them questions about what they're planning on doing to your body, you absolutely have that right. Now, that's assuming that they're going to give you that right, because we all know as Black people, we don't have any rights in this country unless you can afford it or unless they want to give you those rights. So let's not act like we just have all of the availability of these rights as Black people, just like anyone else. So it doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't matter how you feel, but you do under the Constitution, under any policy.
And she is correct. But hear me and hear me good. Unless you have this card and your constitutional right card, you don't know the law lawfully, and you can't even cite it out unless you have this particular card in your person. But she is correct.
In any state, have the right to ask for a supervisor. You have the right to ask why you are being stopped. You have the right to ask questions. You do not have to just do as you're told.
You're confusing me.
You can challenge them. Also,
you're confusing me.
The urge, it doesn't matter. The urge the urge that people have in this country to own Black bodies is historically how this country has been ran. They've owned our bodies. They've told us what to do, where to go, how to do it. And there are some Black people that do not want to do that. And you know what? They are fair. They are fully justified in feeling that way, because as Black people, you should be tired of being told what to do, what you can do, what you can't do. And the fact...
Well, unfortunately, ma'am, we only own 1/2 of 1% of wealth in this country. Still to this very day. We don't own anything. We don't own and control anything consistently. Other brothers and sisters come from the United States and they grind and they scratch and they claw. They're living under government assistance. It doesn't matter. When you come to the United States, you get your government assistance from the government. So, but us born bred American, we would hope that we would have 40 acres and a mule and $100. But no, we're working for white people. And you know what? That's fine. Get what you need to get, save up for it, and get the fuck out of there. Be your own goddamn entrepreneurs. Like, say, for example, real quick, if you want to be a carpenter, learn the traits of how being a carpenter from the pre-apprentice to the journeymans of the world. You can learn that. And once you learned it, once you mastered its craft, start building and establish of your own and start hiring people that will work for you. That's how shit works. That's how it works.
That you can't even.
And by the way, once you've done all that and you've made the money, now you can challenge other people to do other entrepreneurship. We have doctors, lawyers. We need doctors, lawyers. I'm tired of looking at the same doctor who ain't me, who don't look like me. Last person who delivered our baby, he left for Atlanta. He was Jamaican too. I was like, yes. But he left for Atlanta. I was like, I ain't have no more babies. I don't trust neither one of these motherfuckers. But the point of the matter, we can laugh and joke all day, but the point of the matter is we're at the bottom for a reason. Most of us because of us. Most of us is because of them. We have to decide now, as Dr. Umar intended, but people want to make jokes. This is how America is. And this is how Black America is going to be from here on in, unless we learn how to change our modes. but we're gonna steadily argue and fuss and fight and be on this white man's internet for as long as we are, and we're going to age and age and age. Man, shouts out to Rizza Islam, by the way, into his marriage. Boy, boy, boy. When Louis Farrakhan kicks the bucket, who's going to be the next to stand up? Who's going to be the next to stand up to fight for us, for our freedoms, fight for our rights and liberties? Who's going to fight for our purposes? That's crazy.
Even afford to have an opinion or to fight against these people should anger a lot of us. And the fact that people want to own our bodies and destroy our bodies, and there are Black people out here making excuses for them, and they are also excusing them because they think that there's somehow we are going to get some kind of respect if we collectively respect ourselves. Even if we collectively respect ourselves, they will still view us as less than human. They dehumanized us hundreds of years ago. That is why they are able to do the things they are doing to our bodies, because no one humanizes. No one sees our humanity. It doesn't matter how much we respect ourselves. They will never see our humanity because that is how this country has been set up. Y'all don't read enough books.
Boheme.
So can I ask you something real quick? How many times have you been pulled over by police officers, approximately?
Quite a few times, but this is not about my personal experience.
All right, so I'll say this. I've been pulled over more than 200 times by police officers, right? More than 200 times. Most women are not going to have that experience. And what I can say is these police officers need to be held accountable all the way. However, to say that if not complying will not change an outcome, that's absurd. Because I'm going to tell you, I've had police come with their hand on their gun to my window and end up apologizing to me. This has happened more than once because of the way they were reacting. And because I wouldn't take the bait and gave them nothing to go off of, it's extremely difficult. It's just like a customer. If anybody who dealt with retail customer service, you know, if you maintain your professionalism and you don't take it to that level, it doesn't mean you're pussy. You just calm, you're monotone, you're cooperating. If they did wrong, then they'll be held accountable. I've also sent letters all the way up to the governor's office, internal affairs, filed formal complaints. And any time somebody was out of line, they have a stain on their record. So that's all I'm saying. The outcome is going to absolutely be determined by your conduct. There's no way that anybody would really believe that if he would have just left his door open and complied, that they would have gave him all them punches to the face. And it could have went worse, because some of these dudes is outrageous. It really could have went all the way downhill, and then he wouldn't have no story to tell. We would just that camera that he had, we would have just saw the other stuff, and you already saw what type of narrative they were able to push from their police footage versus what he had on his own. So we have to be careful when we put the messages out, because what you do is definitely going to determine what the other people do.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Hold on real quick, boy. I'm glad you said that, Trev, because the reason why I'm not going to even say I was confused. I knew what she was trying to do, but I'm glad you put it like that, because it's very dangerous to give the message. Like, God forbid somebody's listening to this and saying, and then nervous the next time they get stopped because somebody on this panel said, it doesn't matter if you comply or not, the cop going to do what he wants. And then they just start acting in a manner that makes the cop scared, and it end up being a bad situation. So unless you could actually pull up something.
So he's for cops then. I think it's time that me and these jokers start to have a logical conversation, but I can't catch up with them long enough, because usually when they go on live, it's time for me to act on the real world. So one of these times I'm gonna catch up with these people. We're gonna have a conversation. It's about time too.
Some source that can substantiate that the cops, no matter if you comply or not, is gonna be a bad situation. We don't need to say that because that is very dangerous. That's why I said that's a dangerous take to make. And I was trying to ask her what her source, and when she said she don't even, it doesn't matter if anybody's confused. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Also,
I think Bo wanted to respond. But I think Bo wanted to respond.
I don't want us to misunderstand what I'm saying. You all are misrepresenting what I said. What I'm saying is,
I told you I was confused
it
earlier.
doesn't matter if you comply or if you don't. The result is going to be the same if that police officer has his mindset that he's going to do what he's going to do. We have seen this plenty of times where Black bodies have complied and they are still not with us to this day. Well, I'm not saying don't comply. I'm saying that that man had every right to do what he did. And the response, whatever response that police officer gets from a Black body, it is warranted and it is justified because of how we have been treated. Fear makes us do certain things. I'm disgusted and I'm tired of it. I've asked questions on a police stop. I'm also not a Black man, and y'all's bodies are viewed as weapons just at the onset. So that's going to be completely different. But why am I being stopped, especially if I didn't do anything? So,
Bo, you know you're telling lies.
How police officers conduct themselves. I know the laws in my city, and I can ask these questions, but I don't want us to misrepresent me saying that you should not comply. I never said that. I said,
why would you associate that outcome that never happened, that didn't happen in this case? That because what you're trying to say is if the cop decides he want to unalive you, he's going to unalive you. I think that goes without saying, but to attach it to a situation, but that's not even the case. It's almost like lumping all officers in that narrative that you just painted out. Well, I think we all can agree. I think it goes without saying to say if somebody, and it ain't got nothing to do with a badge and a gun. It can just be any person in the world that has a decision made up to do bodily harm. But you're making it seem like this is isolated or exclusive to the badge and the gun when it's not. That goes for anybody who has a desire to unalive.
Whiteness. That's what it's exclusive to. Whiteness.
No, it's exclusive to all people.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
10 years ago, I moved from a neighborhood where it was actually people that look like me, you and me, that we can attach that.
People. I said whiteness. That's a culture.
Okay. Also, Bo, you're lying technically. You're telling lies. You said that you have the right to. You said that you said that he did nothing wrong. He had the right to do everything that he did. He didn't have the right to do that. You said that you have the right to ask why you were pulled over. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's true or not. It may be true, right? And let's say they have to tell you why you were pulled over, right? You said that you can.
Brother, you don't know the law. This is the reason why I hate when motherfuckers like this speak up, and this is the reason why I stopped listening, because you got these people that can't even cite a law. I just cited a law for you. I just cited plenty. I told you to go where to go. I told you to go. Molly versus Bridge. Whenever they act ignorant or willfully, clearly, let me read this again. Let me start over. A police officer or public officer loses their qualified immunity when they knowingly violate a clearly established right or status protecting those rights, or when they are willingly ignorant, or if they are willingly ignorant and clearly incompliant. Malley versus Bridge, 475 as US 335. That's in the law book. Malley versus Bridge is a real thing. Roe v. versus Wade is a real thing. McNeely versus the United States is a real thing. I just cited 3 things for you. You have to look them up yourself.
Challenge that. You're a liar. You can't. That don't mean that we can have a court session right here. I don't think that that's true. No, it's not. No, my tires are filled up and my light does work. That's a lie. You're not telling the truth. Yes, you can. It can tell you, hey, I pulled you over because your lights. Cool. You can't argue with them right there. It doesn't matter.
Tell me why white people get to do it. Tell me why white people get to do it.
You know how many white people die a year by cops?
Tell me why white people get to do it every day. I'm not talking
No. You're talking about your perception based off of videos.
I'm trying to figure out why white people get to do it, why white people get to actually have a weapon and point it at cops and make it out alive. I'm trying to figure out why white people get to challenge police officers, but now it's a black body, and your black body is telling me that that's a lie. Okay.
Yeah. So you're talking about your perception. That's your perception based off of what you see on your social media, algorithm. You know how many white people die a year? Let's say last year 500 white people got shot by police officers.
Argument now.
You saw 0 of them. I'm sorry.
I think y'all have an equality argument now, and I don't know.
No, not even. The thing is, like,
well, you're about to respond to her why we can't do what.
I just wanted to say, like, you saw 0 videos last year of white people dying. However, probably 400 of them died by police. You didn't see none of them for a reason. It's not on your algorithm. So in your head, it's like none of this happens to white people. That's not true. But go ahead, yo. I'm sorry.
Why the fuck would you care? Why the fuck would you care what happens to white folks with other white folks? Why would you fucking care? This is crazy to me. But I guess we have to get along with white folks, huh? Again, we have to care what the other side, how the other side feels. We have to care for those who don't care for us. Oh, I get it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, hold on. Let's go ahead and get in white.
Referencing Ricky Hinton, right, Jr. Or Ricky Hinton, Jr. How you say his name?
No, I wasn't referencing him, but I did think about him. The one that ran over that police officer.
Ran a police officer. Yeah, or David Dorner, or the people who say, you know, I had enough of this shit. I'm just gonna go for my move. You breaking the law, so I'm gonna break the law too. I mean, if that's your stance, I get it. I'm not even gonna argue with you against that. I ain't mad at them, so I ain't mad at you for having that opinion. I actually might celebrate their birthdays if I remember.
M1, do you remember in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, after the police proceeded to murder Alton Sterling in front of the convenience store, I want to say it took 10 days later and a sniper killed 3 officers at the Be Quick on Airline Highway. Right? Does everybody recall when that happened?
Well, the sniper that happened right here in Dallas.
So when we're saying meet, like you how Darwin was just kind of saying, like, meet disrespect.
It's 9:03, y'all. It's 9:03. Ain't gonna do. This is the 3-hour mark. I said it before and I'll say it again. Be compliant. Don't be compliant. If you lose your life in the process, if you want to lose your life in the process, make sure you put yourself on camera, and make sure you get it in the right particular spot where officers won't grab it. Be careful. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Be careful, because nobody cares about your life more than you care about your life. Think about your wife and kids, because this is not gonna stop. This is not gonna stop unless you start building. With building comes equity. Equity comes a whole bunch of things, creating laws for yourself. One of these days, I'm going to replay Dr. Claude Anderson's one of his videos one of these times to see what you can do for this to slow down to a halt. Because when you, and I want to say this correctly, when you have power on your side and you have this much, when you have power on your side, you can purchase your own fucking police department. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You can purchase your own goddamn police department. And people will protect you based on your power, your wealth, and your influence. But until that time, you're going to have things like these going overnight, no problem. And all I'm going to tell you is be careful and be safe.